Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I am very excited for this video because we're going to be doing a first impression on a new eyeshadow palette from Midas Cosmetics. I think this is one of the most exciting eyeshadow palettes they've done yet, so I'm very intrigued to try this. It is their new Artistry palette volume 2. It just comes in a little sleeve like this, and then this is the packaging, which is very, very cute. And then here is the inside. So I love this color story. I feel like it is such a cute little grungy palette. It looks like it has a duochrome here. Everything just looks stunning, and the thing about this that I feel like you can't beat if the quality is as I hope it will be, it's literally only $16. And you can use an affiliate code to save even more money off. I just have really high hopes that I will love it. I also thought it'd be fun to try just a few things that I picked out from my Black Friday haul that I posted recently. So I have this new liner called Wallflower from Melt, and I feel like it kind of goes along with the vibes. I also thought I'd try some things from Black Moon Cosmetics. I'm gonna try their Moonlighter in the shade Squid today. And then I have their liquid lipsticks in the shade Cider and Hazel. And I don't know which one I'm gonna go with yet, but I feel like these also match the vibe of the palette. So if you wanna see a first impression on all of those products, let's just go ahead and jump on in. All right, so before we apply this to my eyes, I thought it'd be good to go ahead and just do some quick swatches. So I mentioned this before with their Artistry palettes, but unfortunately, the names are a cursive that is extremely hard to read for me. I really can't see what any of them say, so I can't say the names. But this first shade here looks like a really beautiful mustardy green with like a yellow undertone. Super, super pretty matte shade. And then we've got this shade here, which looks like it looks like a duochrome with a brown base and then a green shift. Then we have another green grungy shade that's just a really pretty olive. I feel like this palette is so cute. Okay, so the mattes are swatched a little bit sheer. We'll see how it goes. Next we have like grungy bronzy gold metallic shade, and it actually looks like it has like tiny little flecks of sparkles in there. We have a true green, and then last but not least is a nice neutral deep brown. So there's the entire palette swatched out. Super cute color story. Like I said, the mattes look a little bit sheer swatched like that, but it's what's on the eyes that matters. So let me just wash this off real quick and then we can jump on in. Okay, I already went ahead and primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and I think I'm gonna start off with the lightest matte shade. Definitely want to try and use every single shade in the palette today just because there's only 6. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put that through my crease. Oh yeah, pigmentation looks very good on the eyes. That was just one little dip in the pan, and now I'm going to go ahead and just start lightly buffing that out. Really, really love the tone of that. I'm also going to grab a little bit of that shade and just throw it along my lower lash line as well. Next, I'm gonna go into this green, and I'm gonna pop that just a little bit lower down using a fluffy brush. Just gonna slowly build up the depth. Again, pigmentation looks really good right off the bat. And I'm also popping a little bit of that along like the outer half of the lower lash line. All right, now I'm taking the deepest matte green and I'm gonna pop that on my outer V. And then again, just gonna take a little bit of that and throw it on like the outer third of my lower lash line, just matching everything I'm doing on my lid. So now I'm just gonna use my pencil brush and dip into that deepest brown shade just to add a little bit more depth to this look, but also keep it pretty precise. So I'm just gonna tap it right here. I feel like even if you did a look with just the first shade that I used and then this in the outer V, that would be really pretty without being quite as green, but still very grungy. Placing that down where I want it, lightly blending out. Again, pigmentation is good. Blending easily. Ooh, I'm gonna take a little bit of that on the lower lash line as well too. Once I have that pretty much mapped out, I'm just gonna go into the previous brush and very lightly blend the edge. Like I said though, seriously blending like a dream. I did all of that matte work in like less than 5 minutes. So now, gosh, for the lid, I'm torn. I guess, you know what, I think I'm gonna do the duochrome on the lid just because it's calling to me, and then I guess I'll take a little bit of this shade on my pencil brush and pop that on the front of the lower lash line. Ooh, that's very pretty. I mean, either of those would be absolutely beautiful all over the lid. This next step, you could just go ahead and use the NYX glitter primer. I don't know where that is right now, but I'm gonna take the Almar Cosmetics Pero Primero primer just because I feel like this reminds me a lot of a glitter primer, and I don't like using it for all over. I feel like it's a little bit too sticky, so it works well for metallics. I'm just gonna take a tiny little bit of that on my finger and pop that on the front of my lid just to make the duochrome pop even more. And I'm using my finger to keep it a little bit softer. I'm not trying to do like a full cut crease or anything like that, even though you definitely could do that with this. All right, now, like I said, I'm gonna go into this shade right here with my finger, and I'm gonna pop that all over the lid. Super pretty. I feel like I need something special to pop on the inner corner. I have this liquid eyeshadow from e.l.f. and J. Kissa. It's the Suki to my heart, and I feel like I could use that on the inner corner today and it'd be really pretty. But first I'm gonna do something else because I want to have a base for that. Like, I liked having a shadow underneath it to make it a little bit more intense. So I'm gonna take the Black Moon Cosmetics Moonlighter in the shade Squid, which we'll be using on the cheeks in just a moment, but I'm gonna take a little bit of that on my pencil brush and I'm gonna pop it right here. It's just an icy white. And yes, my brows are super messy still because I still don't know where anything else is other than the gel that I had. So I'm just been like brushing a ton of gel through my brows and trying to get as much color as I can. Should probably add that to my priorities list. But now I'm gonna go ahead and just take a little tiny bit of this and pop it on the inner corner. It has like rainbow sparkles. It's so pretty. I know it doesn't show up on camera or do it justice at least, but it's beautiful. Okay, so now I'm gonna attempt to use this liner, my waterline. I'm a little bit worried that it's gonna get in my contacts, but I'm gonna be very careful. Like I said, this is Melt Wallflower. Okay, I found a very tiny, tiny little eyeliner brush. This is the Wing Liner E06 from Sigma. I'm just gonna pick up the tiniest little bit. Okay, it's weird, but I held my eye open for like just a second after applying it and let it dry down a moment. And I think that helps because I didn't get any in my contacts. I'm just gonna add a little bit of mascara and then I'll be right back. Okay, I haven't put any blush on yet, so I pulled out my Dawn face palette. This was the Midas Cosmetics times Neon MUA collaboration, and I'm gonna use this light pink shade right here called Blush. Just gonna throw a little bit of that on the tops of my cheekbones. And then again, I'm gonna dip into the Moonlighter. I'm really excited to try this because I saw a comment on my Black Friday haul about this and they were saying how it just glows differently than other highlighters or something like that. So I'm excited to wear it all day today and just see how I end up feeling about it. So I'm just gonna throw a little bit, okay, on the tops of my cheekbone here. I mean, first impression, that looks pretty. We'll have to see. I'm not super blown away just seeing it on the skin right away. Oh, it smells sweet too. I didn't realize that before. It smells like candy. Now we have these two liquid lipsticks and I'm really torn on what to do today because they're both so cool. You know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and do cider today. Oh, I'm nervous. Well, it's definitely an interesting lip color, that's for sure. All right, guys, so this is the finished look, and I really love how it turned out. First of all, this liquid lipstick is actually super comfortable. It reminds me a lot of the Dose of Colors formula, except for in application. When I first applied it, it was a little bit more liquidy, but just the way it feels dried down, I'm really impressed. So I'm excited I finally got to try those. As far as the Moonlighter goes, it looks pretty. It looks more like a natural glow from within to me. When I first watched it, it reminded me a lot of Glazed Donut from Ofra, but I feel like that's way more intense. But it could have just been the brush that I used it with today, so I will definitely keep testing that out and seeing how I feel about it. I feel like the star of the show today is definitely this Midas Cosmetics palette. I am a little shook. I think this honestly might have just like been bumped up to my favorite or my second favorite palette that Midas Cosmetics has done. And then, like I said, I just can't get over how affordable this one is. I pulled out two other very similar palettes that I own to compare to this. So this one here is the Kaleidos Sci-Fi Green palette, and this has 6 different colors. So it's a really beautiful color story as well. So comparing those two, I would say the Midas one overall is a little bit darker. The tones are a little bit more grungy. I feel like you would get very similar looks out of it. I appreciate and enjoy the black in the Kaleidos palette a little bit more than the deep brown. The Kaleidos palette is $24, I believe, and then it also made me think of this palette from Dose of Colors, which is, I think, $32 or $34. So basically double the price, and honestly, between these two, everything considered, I absolutely love the matte formula of the Dose of Colors, but the shimmer formula didn't stay very well for me, even with the glitter primer, so I would be more inclined to get the Midas one between these two. I'm really excited about that one and definitely will be using it more in the future. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, and I will see you tomorrow for another day of Indie Miss. Bye!